Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. Well, on this Cricket Happenings show, the second day's play in two test matches. As far as England and New Zealand were concerned, at Christchurch on the second day, well, England did not add much to the tally, but the good thing was that Jonathan Bairstow went on to his fourth test run, which was good to see, and New Zealand were put on the ropes with some splendid bowling coming from James Anderson and Stuart Broad for the first time looking very sharp with his pace and also with his line, which really troubled every New Zealand batsman who came at the crease, and they were reduced to 36 for 5 at one stage, and it looked like whether one would be seeing something that happened to England, but fortunately it didn't happen, as Colin D. Grandhomme and B.J. Watling combined to take New Zealand to 192 for 6 at close of play, and so that was a good effort, which also would allow them to go and avoid the follow-on, as you know. Well, they already avoided the follow-on, but just wanting to tell you that. And as far as Australia and South Africa were concerned, well, it was South Africa who carried on with a very punchy 95 from Tenda Bavuma. Tenda Bavuma could not get to his century, which would have been his second test, and unfortunately he had to remain not out, and he was the one who almost took the South Africans to the 400 mark, as they were all out for 388, and Cummins taking a 5-wicket bag for only his second time in his career. And as far as Australia were concerned, Australia were in all sorts of trouble. They were very precariously placed at close of play on the second day at 110 for 6. So they were in deep trouble. Vernon Philander was amongst the wickets. He had taken 3 wickets. And also in this particular cricket show, there will be a very brief preview on the first of the T20 match of the series, which is going to be played on April 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the National Stadium in Karachi, where international cricket comes to Pakistan and to Karachi after quite a long time, where Pakistan will be taking on the West Indies in the first T20 match of the series. First I will be talking about the New Zealand versus England. So as I said, it was pretty quick work, didn't take much time. Bairstow went on to his fourth test century. He made 101 with 11 fours and 1 6. Leach on his debut making 16 2 boundaries. Anderson was not 307 all out. The Englishmen and the bowling, well, it was all about Tim Southee and Trent Boult cleaning up the Englishmen. 6 for 62, 26 overs and 7 maidens and 62 runs, and 6 wickets for Tim Southee. Trent Boult 28.5 overs, 5 maidens, 87 runs and 4 wickets. And as far as New Zealand were concerned, they were in trouble right from the time they took to the crease. In fact, it was Jimmy Anderson who actually was giving a nice working over to G. Travel outside the off stump, making him feel outside the off stump. At the other hand, Stuart Broad, for the first time in the series, was looking pacey, looking nippy, and he was troubling all the batsmen. And then Stuart Broad was the one who picked up the first wicket when he forced Latham to edge one into the hands of Jonathan Bairstow behind the stumps. Latham was out for naught. G. Travel was given a real working over by Anderson outside the off stump, succumbed to, and this time Anderson was the man who had him push at a delivery which was leaving him, and Bairstow took the catch. So Travel was out for 5. So definitely New Zealand were in trouble at 14 for 2, and it soon became 17 for 3. when Broad, as I said, was looking very good. He forced Ross Taylor to get on to drive him, and in the process, the ball could not hit the middle of the bat. In fact, it took the thick outside edge, and Cook actually pounced the catch in a very, very calm manner. So Taylor was out for 2. That when Henry Nicholls walked in, Kane Williamson was at the other end. Henry Nicholls walked in, and Henry Nicholls got a nice inducker from Broad. He reviewed it, but it came to nothing as Henry Nicholls was sent on his way back to the pavilion. LBW bowled Broad for naught, which made things very difficult for the Kiwis as the score read 17 for 4. And then BJ Watling came in and offered a brief resistance, and Williamson, who was doing well, slowly trying to see what he could do. He was on 22 with 1 boundary when James Anderson got a wonderful delivery to Kane Williamson, and Kane Williamson was a goner caught by Bairstow. And as I said, like what Tim Southee and Trent Boult did for New Zealand, Anderson and Broad did it for England as the score read a very, very shaky 36 for 5. Watling was at the other end, and Grandhomme came in, and from 36 for 5, Colin D. Grandhomme, normally, as you know, he likes to strike the ball, but today he played a very matured innings. He really knew the importance of that innings as he just waited there for any loose opportunities to score off. BJ Watling, when everyone knows that BJ Watling is a big grafter, and that's what he precisely did, and both nurtured this New Zealand innings from a very shaky 36 for 5 with a very, very good partnership, a sort of a building. They built up a partnership which yielded 142 runs, so that was very well done by Grandhomme and BJ Watling. Grandhomme did hit 3 boundaries of a single over of the bowling of Mark Wood when he pulled him for boundaries. And as you know, Grandhomme's main shot is his pull shot, which is very, very powerful at. BJ Watling, as I said, was doing a grafting job, but he was using his feet very well against the English spinner, especially the debutant Leach. And one of the sweep shots really stood out when he hit it all across the carpet for a beautiful boundary behind the back of the keeper, which was very well done. And Watling, as you know, is a good drive of the ball. He's a good sweeper of the ball as well. And he collected, he was doing well. And just before close of play, when things were really beginning to look that, New Zealand would be going to close of play with 5 wickets gone, it was Stuart Broad once again coming back and making Grandhomme nick a ball. Grandhomme collected his 50. It is his 72. In fact, he made 72 with 7 fours, so he was gone. The score read 178 for 6. And then finally, when stumps were drawn for the day, Watling was not out on 77, 10 fours and 1 6. Tim Southee was not out on 13 with 2 boundaries, and that was the story of the day. But still, there's a long way to go for New Zealand to catch up. They still have 115 runs. They have 4 wickets intact. Watling is there, and that's the big thing. As you know, Watling is someone who will stay at the crease for quite a long time. He needs some support from Tim Southee, Sodhi, Wagner. A bit of batting can be expected from Sodhi and Wagner as well. And it should be an interesting session coming up in the morning on the 3rd day. Anderson, 19 overs, 5 minutes, 2 for 43, bowled superbly. Broad was the one which was very, very breath of fresh air for England. 16 overs, 4 maidens, 38 runs and 4 wickets. Mark Wood did not take a wicket, but was very, very effective, barring that the assault by Grandhomme on Wood in the initial stages. 17.5 overs, 3 maidens, 50 runs and no wickets. Leach in his first test match on his test debut was very impressive with his spin. 18 overs, 3 maidens, none for 46. Root bowled 1 over 9 runs, and Stokes had 3 overs, 1 maiden, none for 5. So that is the match situation as far as New Zealand and England were concerned. Now let's have a look at the match between Australia and South Africa, the second day's play at the Bullring at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. Well, it was all about Tenda Bavuma and Quinton de Kock at the crease. But Quinton de Kock could not last long today. Quinton de Kock was, in fact, I'm just going to see that. So Quinton de Kock departed early today. So I'm just going to look at the scores here. In fact, the South Africans were led by Tenda Bavuma, as Tenda Bavuma collected 95 runs. It was sort of a very good knock from Tenda Bavuma, who actually helped the South African innings to 388 with a very, very nice knock of 95 not out with 13 boundaries. Quinton de Kock was an early victim today, as he gave his wicket away to Nathan Lyon for 39, 4 boundaries. Philander fell for 12 to the bowling of Nathan Lyon as well with 1 boundary. Maharaj indulged himself. Maharaj is always someone a very, very handy batter. In fact, had his highest score in Test cricket, which was 45, 4 fours and 2 6 before Cummins came in and cleaned up the South Africans with Keshav Maharaj out for 45. Morning Mortal was out for naught. And South Africa, I'm sorry, I said 388, I apologize. It was 488 all out thanks to that nice innings from Tenda Bavuma. Now Tenda Bavuma was in the first hour of play could get only just a single. I mean, he was kept very quiet. He was peppered with some short stuff as well. But after that, Tenda Bavuma slowly started getting into his groove, and he started getting out his strokes, as he's known for. 488 all out, the South Africans, and Cummins, as I said, this was the first time when he made his Test debut in South Africa. It was at the Bullring at the Wanderers in Johannesburg that he actually took a maiden 5-wicket haul, and he did that. This is only the second time in his career that Patrick Cummins has taken a 5-wicket haul, and he has really bowled his heart out, according to me, in this particular innings. 28.5 overs, 5 maidens, 83 runs and 5 wickets to Cummins. Nathan Lyon at 3 for 182 was a bit costly. 2 for 78 for Chad Sayers on his Test debut. Now 488 all out. Australia started their reply, and it was something that one wanted to watch because it was new faces there. Matt Renshaw and Joe Burns were the new openers. For just keeping on the topic, I have to say that today David Warner gave his press conference and had extreme regret. He was as tearful as Stephen Smith, which was seeing that he has already mentioned one thing, that he does not think that he would be coming back. He might get an opportunity to play international cricket again. It's very sad, but only hopes that happens, because David Warner, as we know, is a wonderful cricketer. Well, let's look at the game here. Matt Renshaw and Joe Burns opened the innings, and the first wicket to go was Joe Burns. Kagiso Rabada gave them the breakthrough when he forced Joe Burns to edge one to the slip corner, and Duplessis taking the catch. He was gone for 4. And then Matt Renshaw was tested by Philander outside the off stump. And then, in fact, this was a very careless stroke from Matt Renshaw. Philander was bowling the ball wide, and the ball was still swinging away. But Matt Renshaw went and fiddled with it, trying to put it through the offside, and he got an edge onto it, and Quinton de Kock held the resultant catch. And Matt Renshaw was gone for 8 with 1-4. Not a good shot at all from Matt Renshaw. So that made the score 34 for 2, as Usman Khwaja and Hanscom, and Hanscom, who has been waiting all time to get an opportunity, muffed the opportunity big time, as Vernon Philander, a delivery from Vernon Philander, which Hanscom was facing his first delivery. He wanted to actually leave the delivery, but in the process, while he was leaving the delivery, the ball actually struck his bat and ricocheted onto his stumps for a crestfallen Hanscom as he walked back for knot of the very first ball. So that score read 38 for 3 at that stage, and Sean Marsh joined Usman Khwaja, who was stroking the ball sweetly, very sweetly, of the middle part of the bat. And Usman Khwaja was hitting a lot of boundaries. He was driving well, cutting well, as Sean Marsh joined him. Sean Marsh was pretty lucky that he was not stumped by Quinton de Kock, as a bee actually stung him and he could not stump Sean Marsh. But Usman Khwaja, after looking good and getting 53 with 9 boundaries, was a victim of the bowling of Vernon Philander, caught behind for 53. Now, this was something which was a very good catch, one thought, from Quinton de Kock, because in fact Usman Khwaja was trying to glance the delivery down the onside, but Quinton de Kock, showing amazing reflexes, held the catch very well. Usman Khwaja was gone. That made it 90 for 4, and then the Marsh brothers in the middle, but the first to dismiss was Mitchell Marsh. Morkel, as you know, is playing his last test match of his career before retiring, and he actually picked up Mitchell Marsh when probably there was not much time. I mean, it was just 5 overs to go before close of play, and Mitchell Marsh, trying to play a forceful stroke on the offside, trying to do that, but in the process did not hit it properly, and the ball rolled off his bat and went into the stumps. So he was gone for 4. Sean Marsh, who was on 16 with 1 boundary, was a victim of the bowling of Keshav Maharaj. Now, Keshav Maharaj is someone who has troubled Sean Marsh in the series, and this time Keshav Maharaj was getting the ball to turn as well. This ball turned, and Sean Marsh, pushing at it, was caught very well by De Villiers, holding his balance, and 16 with 1 boundary, and that left Australia in all sorts of trouble at 96 for 6. And then finally the score read at the end of the day 110 for 6. Tim Payne, the captain, was not out on 5 with 1 boundary. Cummins was not out on 7 with 1 boundary, and they would be resuming the battle tomorrow. And I think Australia really have their task cut out with only 4 wickets remaining. They still have a long way to go. The first thing that they would like to do is to avoid a follow-on by getting 288. So that is 178 runs more that they need to get. So that is going to be still a tall order, according to me. But probably if the captain could lead the way, with Chad Sayers, Nathan Lyon and Hazelwood yet to come. Philander was superb. 12 overs, 7 minutes. In fact, every South African bowler, to me, bowled superbly. Philander, 12 overs, 7 minutes, 3 for 17. Kagiso Rabada could have done a bit better than what he did. 9 overs, 3 minutes, 1 for 24. Morne Morkel was very good. 9 overs, 2 minutes, 1 for 23. And Keshav Maharaj, 8 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 35. So that's the match situation as far as Australia and South Africa are concerned. Now, in a very brief manner, as you know, West Indies are touring Pakistan, and they're going to play 3 T20 matches in the T20 series, which is starting tomorrow at the National Stadium in Karachi. All the matches are going to be played to me at the National Stadium in Karachi, which is getting some cricket long last. Looking at this particular T20 series, as we all know, that West Indies are not at full strength at all. They have come at absolutely quarter strength right now, with lot of big names missing, like Chris Gale, Brathwaite. There are a lot of players who are missing. There's no Kemar Roche. So West Indies team comprises of Andre Fletcher and Chadwick Walton. Definitely both these players are good smashers of the ball. They can really get going, and one would hope that West Indies, Andre Fletcher and Chadwick Walton, can really get going and thrash the Pakistan bowlers in the power play overs to get some real mileage to the West Indies cricket team. Marlon Samuels is the most experienced bloke in the team, and one was wondering as to why Marlon Samuels was not made the captain. In fact, Jason Mohammed is another consistent player. He's the captain of the team. He's a real T20 specialist. Dinesh Ramadhin, the wicket-keeper. Roman Powell, an exciting player. Kimo Paulus, who looked very impressive in the qualifiers, has got his opportunity and truly deserved it. He generates some good pace, some good bounce, and I think he looks to be a bright prospect. Rayad Emrit is another one. Veerasamy Perumal, the leg spinner. Samuel Badri is the other leg spinner that they have, and Kesrick Williams, another very, very economical bowler. So definitely the team is looking good, but definitely West Indies, as we know, are not at full strength. So it is very difficult to say anything right now. As far as Pakistan are concerned, well, they have just completed that Pakistan Super League, and I'm sure they would be raring to go. Fakhar Zaman, Ahmed Shehzad would be opening the innings. Babar Azam, Sarfraz Ahmed will captain the side. Shoaib Malik, Asif Ali would be. There'll be probably Asif Ali will be making his T20 debut. Shaheen Shah Afridi, the very multidimensional bowler, could also be making his debut. They have Shadab Khan, they have Mohammad Nawaz, who has done well in the PSL this year, and Mohammad Amir and Hassan Ali will be the one who would be handling the pace operations. Well, dear fans and subscribers, nothing else to say. It should be a good game of cricket, but definitely on paper, one could say that Pakistan are favourites, and there are going to be 3 matches, as I say. Well, dear fans and subscribers, always a pleasure bringing you this cricket show. I hope you all liked it, and I know my throat has been sore, but as you know, when it comes to cricket, I'm always there, I hope you all bear with me on this cricket show, and thanks for your company as always, and this is your host Ram signing off. Thank you.